Hey guys, welcome to Wave. If you're new here, then please do subscribe. This channel will help you with your long term crypto investments. That's what we are sort of focusing on. In this episode, we'll talk about how to very easily try to find out what would be the next big growth sectors and where you could probably put some small amount of funds into it. I'm guessing all of you must have read articles like this that says, this metaverse token gained 50,000% in 2021. Should you buy? Right? This was written a year later, after the token probably, ran its full course, and it has increased to and sort of stabilized of sorts. We have seen many such articles where, looking back, anybody can say, "Hey, this token has increased. Should you buy it now? This token increased. If you invested $1 in this, it would become $1,000, etc., etc." But the real question is, how do you find the next big sector, right? I'm sure all of you are asking this question. It's easy to look back and say, but how do I really, figure out what is the next big sector? We'll try and answer that question here. If you're somebody like me who do not have too much time to research or and think of what to invest in, then you should definitely try this approach, which I use a lot. You have very famous people in crypto who are like, for instance, Brian Armstrong or Balaji Srinivasan. All of these guys are influencers in the space, are people who understand the technology, people who are visionaries. They know what is going on, they know what will happen, right? And every now and then they, in maybe an interview, in maybe an event, or maybe some blogs like this one, they talk about what can we expect in the next few years, right? And Brian Armstrong, who happens to be the CEO of Coinbase, in the January of 2020, he wrote a blog talking about what will happen to cryptocurrencies in 2020s. So I guess we're almost 2 years from when he wrote this blog. So let's walk through it and see if any of his predictions came true or not. Um, and if it did, like, let's look at the impact of this, and if it makes sense, then you guys should probably follow others as well, which I will talk about at the end of the video. So Brian Armstrong spoke about a few things in this. The first one, he talks about scalability, right? He says we'll see a lot of layer two tokens or layer two solutions coming out, which will increase the throughput several orders in magnitude. We actually saw layer two tokens gain a lot of popularity last year in 2021. Tokens like Polygon, they had phenomenal returns, right? So the key is to read through such blogs, figure out, what are they talking about. So here in this section is talking about layer two tokens. So go and search for what are these layer two tokens, what are these projects that are working on layer two tokens, and see if some of them make sense to you. See if they look authentic. See if there is a good amount of activity on it, and then probably think of investing in them. Then he spoke about privacy. That privacy focused tokens will sort of become the next big thing. We did see, like, Monero, for instance, shoot up in price again from 2020s when it was roughly maybe $76. It shot up to the highs of 380, $400, and right now it's trading around $229. So that's still at least 3x gain from where it was. This is one of the older privacy focused tokens. There are many more like that. Then in terms of consolidation, he said a lot of we might see a lot of M&A among teams, like a reverse fork. Honestly, I did not really see anything like that happen yet, but might happen in the future, or I might have missed it. In any case, I'm not really sure about this prediction. But the fourth prediction is pretty interesting. He said people are going to move away from trading, which was largely the trend in the last decade, and get into newer companies in the crypto space, which are or which have some utility, where people are going to use it for something very specific, right? And he mentions a few interesting use cases here, like staking. Staking is become big. There are so many startups, there are so many tokens, there's so many players that are trying to get into this market. So this definitely came true as a prediction. Borrowing, lending, and so on. This was another space that really blew up in the last year. We saw several tokens that have sort of gained in this space. Debit cards, earn commerce. yeah, some activity in all this where we did see some partnerships between existing large corporations or large companies and some crypto tokens to get this going. But I guess the real uh, prediction that came true in the last 2 years is probably staking and the lending space. Right? And then he talks about the rise of the crypto startup. Right? What does he mean by that? So as a startup, you typically raise funds from venture capitalists who also give you advice. Right? So here he says that sort of changes where startups will start raising funds or crypto projects will start raising funds in the form of cryptos itself. We saw this happening even much before 2020 as well, but it will start gaining prominence. That did. Secondly, these cryptocurrencies might achieve product market fit by issuing tokens to their early adopters. So if you were like an early user of Airbnb, right, maybe except for some low prices or some discounts, I don't think you got much. But in crypto startups, you might get some tokens as a compensation for you being an early adopter, right? And did that actually happen? So he talks about a few use cases. He says the next 100 million people will get an exposure to cryptocurrency while not caring about cryptocurrency, but because they're trying to play some game, use a decentralized social network, earn a living, and use cryptocurrency in some way, right? So this actually happened when with the case of, let's say, Axie Infinity. So in Philippines during the lockdown, there are entire villages that were probably trying to earn a living using Axie Infinity, earning as much as $900 to $1,200 a month. So that definitely did happen. People started earning a living by just playing a game. Um, Other than that, we saw that community-based projects that start coming out. Loot box is a great example where within a month or two of the loot box being mint, it was given away for free almost, except for gas fee that you had to pay. But it became so big. I guess trading volumes were in excess of 200 million. So there are such tokens that are coming out. If you want to get into the space, or benefit from this prediction, there's still a long way, and definitely you can. Watch out for some good airdrops. Uh, Look at play to earn games, or there are something called move to earn tokens now, where just by trying to become fit, maybe walking every day, things like that, which can incentivize users to become fit. They are rewarding you with tokens. So why don't you guys go and check out some of those? Other than this, other than the play to earn and so on, there are several projects out there which are trying to get early users, and they are trying to compensate them through tokens. You might want to go ahead and try that as well. Then he spoke about the emerging markets, and I think that one of the last statements was at least one country tipping. So majority of the transactions in their economy will happen in cryptocurrency, right? This actually did happen. We saw how El Salvador has flipped, and they have started accepting Bitcoin as a legal tender. Uh, that was a while ago. A second country recently came out and said they are going to accept Bitcoin as a legal tender, which was the Central African Republic. So we've already seen two countries adopting Bitcoin as a legal tender. Right? Other than this, we are seeing in several high inflation countries, crypto payments are becoming a norm, or people are adopting to it. Then comes institutions. So in the last 2 years, we saw several announcements from large banks like Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan, who are trying to get into the crypto space. JP Morgan opened a lounge in one of the one of the metaverses. Right? It became a big news in the world. Most of these institutions, the real important part that might affect you is that most of these institutions control a lot of money, and if they start getting into the crypto space, it means that institutional money is going to flow into the crypto space, and that will sort of help the whole market to expand as such, which might benefit you if you are an investor. The last three predictions might not, or these three predictions might not really be too relevant to you. Like central bank's digital currencies, he predicted that these will start coming out, and it did. India recently announced that they are looking to looking into the space of central bank digital currencies. Then there's a maturing market structure where companies have become so big, like Coinbase has become so big, they have to go into some bit of regulations there. The entire company is getting split up into separate verticals, looking at separate services. May not really affect you too much, but it is a sign that crypto is becoming mainstream. Right? That's what is really important. Decentralization is going to grow. We are seeing a lot of crypto to crypto transactions. That is definitely happening. And the last one is, of course, billionaire flipping, which means that the next big wave of billionaires are going to come from the crypto space. If Bitcoin hits between 100 to 1 million BTC, then there are at least another few hundred billionaires are going to come out of the space itself. So that is another big approach or another prediction that is nearing the reality. Now, if now looking at this, right, we saw 10, 11 predictions here that Brian Armstrong made about 2 years back. Within 2 years, we saw several of them have come true. Had we read this article two years back and maybe put in a little bit of amount into tokens and staking, tokens and lending, or tokens in the privacy space and so on, right? Or even the play to earn games and so on. It would have helped us in the last 2 years because these tokens rose phenomenally. Right? So how do we not miss the bus next time? Well, it's time to follow these guys, see all the articles that they're writing, what are they predicting. Like I guess Balaji Srinivasan in this video was talking about the future of apps. So you guys might want to go and watch that. So there are several of these guys who are predicting the future, and because they are visionaries and they know what's happening, it might be a great it might be a great thing to follow them and pick up on what they are predicting and do your own research and finally maybe try and invest into them, right? Hopefully this helps you guys in figuring out how to do your research and make it easier, because many of us don't have that much time to do research. uh, do follow Wave for more great content. You can follow my website wave33.club. We have created baskets of cryptos for you to invest in. These are very easy to refer to. We tell you, how much of your money should you invest in, what kind of breakup, like should 30% be in Bitcoin and so on, right? That's something we are trying to help to educate more users. This is just an educational content. Hope that helps you guys in any way. Stay tuned for our next episodes, which are going to focus on crypto investments for the long run and all the tools and techniques and some analysis that you might or that might help you out for that. Thank you so much.